Well, I guess it goes without saying the fire danger is a little on the high side right now, though officially the Weather Service has not issued a red flag warning. Relative humidities may be down, but the wind has not quite reached excessive levels just yet. But don't tell that to Jack Peterson, who took this smoke-filled sunset view yesterday from the west side of Santa Fe, and this is a very common sight throughout much of the northern reaches of New Mexico. A lot of smoke in the air, fire still burning. Good news is, though, temperatures have come down just a little bit. 88 in Taos, 88 in Los Alamos. I know that's not real cool, but the cooler the temperature, the higher the relative humidity is going to be, and that's one of the reasons the red flag warnings aren't necessarily in effect right now. But look at the heat. These are high temperatures today. Tucumcari went to 104 to be the hot spot in the state, not far behind Socorro, 102, and Roswell. You're not in the hundreds now, but you were at 102 earlier this afternoon. Currently, it's 96 at the Sunport, and it's a little breezy out there. We've got winds from the south at 13, gusting to about 20 at times, and yes, the air is very dry. But look at the heat that continues at this hour. 101 Socorro, 100 degrees down in Tiercy, Alamogordo, 101 in Carlsbad. So a lot of warmth to be had. So most definitely it looks like the entire land of enchantment in for a little more heat as we roll towards Sunday and Father's Day. And not only the heat, but we are keeping it basically dry across much of the western two-thirds of the state. We're going to continue to see this little dry line, though, back in the east. What's happening here is a little bit of moisture has made it into the east, central, southeast parts of the state, and it's where we find the moisture that we're starting to find some of the storms. So what I did here is I color-coded our dew points. The dew point's a really good measure of how much moisture's in the air. So the deeper the shades of green, the more moisture you've got. Obviously, though, back around Albuquerque, Santa Fe, and points north and west of there, the air continues to be quite dry. But where the moisture is, we do have a couple of showers and storms. Certainly nothing reaching severe limits right now, but the storms are fairly slow moving. So a lot of this activity, especially north central, northeast parts of Chaves County here, could lead to some localized flooding. A lot of this is rural territory, but nonetheless, we're going to be keeping an eye on that. And keep in mind, with the thunderstorms come the lightning strikes. That, too, could pose a bit of a fire danger. Meanwhile, Roswell, you've not had the rain. It's basically been to the west of you most of the day, and that should continue to be the case. I think these showers are going to fade away here in the coming hours. Elsewhere, looking all the way back off to the west, we are high and dry out there. Basically, between now and Monday, the weather pattern's not going to change a lot. High pressure off to the east, back up to the northwest of us. We've got low pressure, and we're left with the hot, dry weather and that ever-present dry line in the east. So while we see a couple of thunderstorms along that dry line today, I suspect starting tomorrow there'll be even a few extra thunderstorms to contend with in the vicinity of the dry line. That said, let's take a little tour, why don't we? We'll cross the state, start in the northwest, where temperatures are going to be in the upper 80s around Durango and mid-90s down around Farmington tomorrow afternoon. And for the next 7 days, you'll see a change coming in about Wednesday or Thursday. That's when we start to see the moisture from a semi-monsoon flow coming in. So hopefully that'll bring some much-needed rain, at least chances for rain across much of the state. Meanwhile, tomorrow going to be another sunny and warm day down in the southwestern parts of the state. And warm is not the operative word. It'll be hot again, especially south central and southeast parts of the state. Got to forecast a high temperature tomorrow of 100 in Roswell. And we're going to keep the triple digits in Roswell through about Tuesday and then only temper things by a couple of degrees later on in the week. Up into the northeastern corner of the state, look for highs here, generally mid to upper 90s. Conscious won't be will actually be 92 degrees for tomorrow. We'll see if we can get that fixed. Fumble fingers on the keyboard today. Back into the northern mountains we go, where highs will be in the 80s and even 90s throughout some of the valley locations. Forecasting pretty toasty things to happen tomorrow around Santa Fe. 91 the afternoon high, 92 Monday, 94 on Tuesday. But again, late next week we're going to see something that resembles a bit of a monsoon, that southerly flow bringing in some moisture, and that's going to eradicate some of the very hot and dry weather we've got. In the meantime, it will be hot and dry again tomorrow from the East Mountains across the top of the Sandia and back into the Albuquerque metro, where temperatures, much like today, will warm up to about 96, 97 degrees. Not going to hit 100, but we are going to be hot. Meanwhile, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, that potential
shouldn't
for some
be
showers.
too bad for Father's Day then.
No, I think it's going to be okay. At least it's not going to be as windy as Mother's Day was.